emotional picks, and straight up bold-faced lies. For this reason, I want to make something absolutely clear. Every claim you witness in this video is backed up by facts, no empty promises. And certainly no more of this industry-wide deception we've all gotten used to. Instead, I'm going to reveal the one weird little secret I discovered that put 22K, 28K, and a whopping 42K in my bank account without even blinking an eye. The same secret that can unleash crazy week-long win streaks enjoyed by 35,000 bettors in 42 countries. How'd you like to crush it game after game, sport after sport, season after winning season? Because I'm going to reveal how if you followed me during just one 5-day period last year, you could have banked a cool $204,800 starting with a single $100 bill. Yeah, just one C-note to pocket nearly $250,000. No freaking joke. You're about to be blown away when you discover this kind of cash is already just inches from being in your pocket, and I've got the cold hard numbers to prove it. So, next time one of these magical 5-day miracles rolls around, you'll be ready to pounce. And you'll do it without hesitation. Because despite what everyone else has told you, to consistently score huge paydays, you don't need a PhD in mathematics. You don't need to spend endless hours in front of your computer researching. And crazy as it sounds, you don't even need any real sports knowledge at all. If you can check your email, then chances are you've got what it takes to win cash like this. That's just one of the real screenshots that I'll show you today. So be sure to listen closely to every word of this time-sensitive presentation. This information couldn't be more crucial, and this video definitely won't be online for long. My name is James Jones. Over the last few years, my partner and I have become the most successful online handicapping tandem, bar none. Thousands of happy bettors around the globe profit from our advice every single day. From small-time $20 bettors all the way to high-rolling millionaire gamblers. But it wasn't always like this. A decade ago, I was your typical handicapper with a record that was nothing to write home about. I'd pick winners a little more than half the time, and I wasn't alone either. Because no matter what the websites claim, the dirty little secret the industry doesn't want you to know is, a good capper's success rate is only slightly better than a coin toss. That's right, even with all their magic math, most handicappers only win a few more games than they lose. And it was the same way with me. Until a fateful encounter at a Vegas blackjack table. The mystery man was a former star athlete, now retired from sports and living a normal life in the Nevada desert. Now, I'd love to tell you exactly who my mystery man is, but due to the inside connections he still relies on, it's best we keep his name a secret. So from this point forward, I'll call him number 7. We first began talking during a long shuffle, and I found out he was a full-time bettor. I would say gambler, but the way 7 does it, there's almost no gambling involved. Anyway, it wasn't too long before we hit the sports book to grab a few beers and play some bets. Once we sat down to make our picks, I noticed something very strange. 7 didn't use math formulas, he didn't follow all the latest stats, and to me, it was like he didn't really try at all. Yet, while I did just okay that night, he went undefeated. Something I later found out was actually pretty common for him. In fact, 7 would regularly ride winning streaks that lasted days, sometimes even weeks. So, what was his secret? Simple. While handicappers like me rely mostly on numbers, we almost completely ignore the X factors. The way he put it, games aren't played on a spreadsheet, pal. They're played on a field, on a court, in a park. What that means is, no matter what the stats tell us, you have to factor in the aging veteran who takes plays off at critical moments in the game, the freshman who overperforms and blows the spread out of the water, the injured player who makes the unexpected and miraculous recovery, and every other intangible there is. Until you fully understand these human elements, consistent winning isn't just hard, it's impossible. But when you have insider knowledge, it all gets real easy. And what better way to have this kind of knowledge than to be a former athlete who understands how ballers think? Someone who's faced the rigors of 3 road games following a big loss at home. Someone who's felt intense pressure to go for the win with no time left on the clock. Someone who knows what it looks like to hide the pain of injuries from your coaches, teammates, and fans. His past as an athlete is what gave 7 such an edge, and it's why he outpicked me that night nearly 2-1. In what turned out to be the best strategic move of my life, I suggested we partner up and bet the rest of the week's games together. So, how'd we do? We won 21% more games in tandem than I would have won alone. My detailed research was even able to help Seven pick a few extra games he would have otherwise missed. The rest, as cliched as it sounds, was history. Just how Jordan had Pippen, Young had Rice, and Maris had Mantle, I now had my own all-star teammate to help take me from the handicapping minors all the way to the Hall of Fame. I bring the by-the-book research, and then Seven examines every pick through the eyes of the players. This 1-2 punch allows us to give an unbeatable edge to bettors in 42 countries around the world. And now, you can be among the smart and the lucky to harness this awesome power. Let me introduce you to Odds Worth Betting. This exclusive handicapping service is where members receive complete and unfiltered access to our most profitable daily picks. As an Oddsworth insider, there are no stats to monitor, no confusing math formulas to learn, no last-minute analyst reviews to dig through. Every pick is run through our StatHack playbook. This is our 10-step evaluation formula that gives a constant head and gut check to vet each and every pick. Then, only after we've gone through every possible factor that could influence a game, only when we're both willing to put our own money where our mouths are, and only when we've determined a pick has the very strongest odds worth betting does it land straight in your inbox, ready for you to hit open, place your bet, and thicken your bankroll. How our head meets gut 1-2 punch could have handed you $204,800 in just 5 days. Earlier, I promised to show you how to turn $100 into a major league payday, and I wasn't kidding. But before we get to the numbers, I know what you're thinking, so let me address your question. Is turning $100 into $204,800 something the average bettor is going to do on a regular basis? My answer, absolutely not. In fact, the results I'm about to show you require that you start with $100, make the tough decision to follow every bet I give you, then make the even tougher decision to keep all your winnings at risk the whole time. This is something I would never recommend you do. Keeping all your money in jeopardy is insane. Streaks can end at any moment. Then why am I sharing these amazing 5 days with you? The reason is to illustrate what can happen when you enjoy just one of our regularly occurring win streaks. So, let's dig in. It's time to put yourself in the shoes of a paid-up oddsworthbetting.com member during a recent 5-day period. Remember, all the results on this page are 100% real, on record, and verifiable. I did, however, for simplicity's sake, leave out the juice, the percentage the bookie gets for taking the bet. Day 1, $100 becomes $400. It all started on a quiet Monday in January. The struggling Memphis Grizzlies versus a white-hot Orlando Magic. All the lines had Orlando the heavy favorite. But where others saw yet another humiliating Grizzlies loss, we predicted Memphis would take the floor mean and motivated. And 48 clock minutes later, we were proven right. If you were there with us, your $100 bankroll doubled in size. But that was just the first win of the day. You then take your $200 and place it on Northern Arizona, who doesn't just beat the spread, they slaughter the Northern Colorado Bears in an easy 65-54 win. All in all, by following our picks, you just quadrupled your money in 8 pulse-pounding quarters of basketball. Day 2, $400 becomes $800. Our next pick is for Portland to trounce the Spurs, and that's exactly what happens. A 13-point win that was nowhere near as close as the score suggests. Cha-ching! Your stash now stands tall at $800 after just 48 hours. But you're feeling the flow and you decide to let it ride. You're playing with house money after all. Day 3, $800 becomes $6,400. Kevin Durant unexpectedly and almost single-handedly thrashes the Hornets. Well, unexpected to almost everyone except Seven and me. We predicted New Orleans would get eaten alive by Durantula, and now you're staring at $1,600 in cash. Next up, the Nuggets hand the injury-plagued Blazers an easy 19-point beatdown, doubling your winnings to $3,200. Not bad, right? Well, things are about to get crazy good, because with the last pick of the day, we tell you to take Drake to beat the spread against Southern Illinois. The game starts in disaster. Southern Illinois jumps to a fast lead, and by halftime, you think our streak is about to end. But the Salukis underestimate the fight left in Drake. The Bulldogs bark back, and with seconds left on the clock, a buzzer beater puts Drake over the spread. Booyah! You jump on your bar stool and you order a round for the whole joint. Why not? Your cash total is now $6,400, enough for a pimped out home theater and all-inclusive satellite TV package. Day 4. $6,400 becomes